Oh, feels good. Feels good to sit. Only been standing for, I don't know, just a few minutes. I think I appreciate my chair. I do appreciate my chair. Thank you, Lord, for this chair. And all the other blessings that you've given me. I say that kind of laughing, but I'm serious. Because it's kind of funny. Because I sound like a preacher. Fire and brimstone. But I'm not fire and brimstone at all. Just learn the value of gratitude. And, just learn the value of gratitude. And how important it is to turning your mood around. Hold on, I gotta get my watch. I don't even know what time it is. Where's my watch? Where's my watch? There's my watch. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Tuesday morning. I think it's September 10th. I believe it's September 10th. And it is 7:27 a.m. Happy Tuesday. It's a little show I've been doing for quite some time. Hello, Atwood. It's a show about me talking. It's a show about me sharing some feelings, sharing a little bit about the path we're on in life, at least the path I'm on. I'm going to abbreviate my intro so I can get to the star of the show. For those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I have a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me, and I am so excited to have my first sip at this, for me, relatively late hour. Relatively late because I usually go live somewhere between 5:30 and 6 a.m. And now I am live at 7:30 a.m. I appreciate any of my returning visitors who are being flexible with their time and flexible with my scheduling or lack thereof. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited to have my first sip. Good morning, Josh Ogran. My hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you have a nice hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Oh. Take another sip. Still got these burns from my hot burritos that I had the last 2 nights on the top of my mouth, the roof of my mouth. You guys do that? I'm sure you do. It couldn't just be me. I'm sure it couldn't be me. Like when you have a hot slice of pizza or something like that, and you burn the roof of your mouth. Josh has had 3 coffees already. Oh, so good. Just so good. Mowing. Does it say mowing God? That confuses me. Mowing God. That confuses me. Maybe he's a landscaper. Maybe he's a landscaper. A very spiritual landscaper. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to discuss the coffee. Got distracted by mowing God. It is the smoked butterscotch this morning. It's a fall flavor. It's kind of nice. Kind of warm hug. I prepared the pot at about, what was it, 5:30 or 5 o'clock this morning. I woke up. I worked last night. I worked till, I don't know, 10:30. I got home at 11-ish. Fell asleep just before midnight, I guess. And this morning I woke up and I go, wow, it's 5 something already. I should get started. I should get my coffee show going. Gosh darn it, I do a morning coffee show. And, yeah, I got my coffee prepared. I went to the little boys' room. I don't know if it's got a name, little boys' room, when it's just a bathroom in a studio apartment where only a boy lives, but we'll call it the little boys' room. When Pi said, hey, I'm still tired. I only got 5 hours of sleep last night. Maybe if I crawl back in bed and don't push start on the coffee maker, but just leave it prepared and ready to go, maybe I could drip back off for a little sleep. Oh. 48 years in maintenance. Well, I appreciate that, mowing guide. You explaining explaining yourself. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Hello, Annie joined. Thank you so much. Where did I find smoked butterscotch coffee? Honestly, at the grocery store. I don't even know which one. I was excited. I came back from Yellowstone about 5 weeks ago. And, I mean, there were a bunch of reasons I came back, but probably reason number like 18 or 19 was the fact that when I was working in Yellowstone, I was drinking cafeteria coffee every day. And it didn't touch my soul. It did not touch my soul. Hello, Ricky T. And I knew it was pumpkin spice season, and I wanted to get back. As a matter of fact, before I got all the way back, I was pulling into my sister's town on the way home, and right after I crossed the border in Illinois, I pulled into a grocery store at like 9 o'clock at night after 500 miles of riding a scooter. Most, I will say, would have gone the last 2 miles to my sister's house, but I stopped on my scooter at 9 o'clock after 500 miles of riding and pulled into the grocery store and said, do you guys sell pumpkin spice? And the store manager said no. But anyway, I got back into Naperville and went to various grocery stores, located all the coffee flavors a man could dream of. And now what do I have on my shelf over there? I have pumpkin spice. I have smoked butterscotch. I have the Sumatra. I have a bag of Dunkin' Donuts, which I've yet to drink any of. And I think that's about it. That was I think, about it. I rode a scooter 500 miles. I sure did. I rode it 1,500 miles. I rode it 1,500 miles. And it was an awesome ride. It was an awesome ride. It was a scary ride at times, for sure. And the ride out was even scarier because it was out in May. And it was colder than I expected it to be. But I got there. And but the ride back, yeah, it was awesome. Was awesome. I tell you what, you ride through Montana and South Dakota on a scooter or even on a car, in a car, and just amazingly desolate. Amazingly desolate. Mowing God said, why a scooter and why Colorado? Well, I was actually going to Yellowstone, and which is mostly in Wyoming, but it does touch Idaho and Montana a little bit. And had an opportunity to live and work in Yellowstone for a few months, and I needed a job and I needed a place to stay. So it worked out really well. And went out there and waited tables at the Mammoth Hot Springs Hotel, and made some money, saved a little money, covered some financial responsibilities, realized I could wait tables at a high level, and gained some confidence. Why on a scooter? Because that's what I had. I mean, I'll tell you what, it made for a spectacular ride. If you're asking why on a scooter and not on a motorcycle, I see no reason to own a motorcycle. I love my scooter. I bought my first scooter 11 years ago after my first divorce, and we were a one-car family, and she kept the car, and I needed transportation, but only had a little bit of cash in the bank, and bought a scooter for like $1,200 at the time. It was a Kymco Agility 125, whose max speed might be 55 miles an hour about. And it gave me mobility for 3 months when I desperately needed mobility, and enjoyed it, and bought a car, and upgraded my scooter to a Suzuki Bergman 400 at about 6 or 7 years ago. And I've just loved having that. Oh, wow. Mowing God has a Cushman scooter. That's cool. I belong to some scooter pages on Facebook, and people post pictures of their bikes. Someday, and it's probably not my next stop along the highway of life. Right now I'm at an extended stay. I came here, got pulled back into Naperville 5 weeks ago without a place to live and without a job at the time, after working in Yellowstone, and checked into this extended stay and got a job the next day, and I've been waiting tables ever since. And I don't know, but seeing all these beautiful scooters that people post pictures of makes me want more. Tanya said, do I still have a car just in case of poor weather? Well, we're digging into it. Hello, Cindy from Minnesota. I currently do not own a car. I am twice divorced. Wow, you guys need to rewind my videos. For those that are frequent watchers, you're going to be bored by this show because I'm doing a recap. Twice divorced, changed careers. I was a realtor 17 years. I left that about a year and a half ago, right during a painful second divorce. And hold on, where was I? Had a fancy car and fancy life in a fancy house with what looked like probably to so many a dream life or a dream family or a perfect situation. But as I've come to realize, A, there's no perfect situation, and B, you really don't know what anybody else is going through in life. And if you're out there struggling and you're looking with envy at your neighbors who have the beautiful wife and beautiful car and beautiful home and all the stuff that you dream you had, they probably have their issues as well. So, and I had my issues, and couldn't afford my fancy car, and had legal bills and financial responsibilities, and very little income at the time. I scrambled and I took a job at Super Target. Looking back on it, it's kind of funny, but I didn't know what else to do. I'd been a realtor forever. I think a lot of realtors stay in real estate because you don't know what you do after it. You know? And I'd been it so long. I'd done it for 17 years. I'd put in so much effort and built up a name for myself and a business. And occasionally, every couple months, would get a paycheck for 10 grand because we closed on a nice priced home. And it's hard to leave that. And so many times I remember I wanted to leave real estate. So many times I wanted to leave real estate, but I always thought, hey, if I just work a little harder, keep at it a little longer, focus a little more, do a little something, I'm going to break through and love what I do and become the biggest realtor in Naperville. But after 17 years, I realized I didn't want to be the biggest realtor in Naperville. I mean, there would have been certain niceties to it. Highland 517 asked if I could post my entire video on a different social media platform. I do post the entire video on a different social media platform, Highland 517. So she is welcome to follow me there. As a matter of fact, that page grows quickly too. This page and that page are growing the fastest right now. The Tube and TikTok. And it's kind of fun. Yeah, no problem. I post it every day. And the viewers I get over there grow every day. And the hours watched of my video grow every day. And the revenue that page grows every day. It's kind of fun. It's there. Mowing God says he doesn't see the draw for people to live in Naperville. Well, I don't know why. It's a beautiful town. I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful town. I worked there at nights at a nice restaurant down there, and just a beautiful town. As I was walking out of the restaurant and I crossed a covered bridge, there's this beautiful fountain that's all lit up, and took a picture of it and posted it. And tons of bars and restaurants and shops and coffee shops. And I think there's a lot of draw to Naperville. But to each his own, I guess. Sally Valla asked, what realty company? I started at RE/MAX in 2005. I worked at a RE/MAX office in Lisle, Illinois. And I'll tell you what, the broker owner of the realty company at that office, I was fortunate to get started under him because he was a salesman and he was a realtor. And he was inspirational and loved what he did and had a passion for the business. And most of the things I used the rest of my career, I learned from him. So I was fortunate to get started there. And I went over to Keller Williams in, I think, 2008 or 9, and stayed there 12 years, I think. 13 years, it must have been 2008. And worked there 13 years. And it was a perfect place for me then. And it was a perfect place for me to work then because it was a huggy-feely office filled with love and business meetings and social hours and fun and excitement. And at that point in my life, I wanted all those things. And used to go in and they would give hugs. Everyone would be hugging each other and telling each other how much they loved each other. But then in 2020, I went over to Coldwell Banker where my wife was working. My wife at the time was working, and we wanted to work together. We did. And I don't know, about 3 years later, I left the business. Good morning, Chipbot. How are you? How are you today? I'm running a little light on my coffee. Should I get some more? I think I should. Let me have one more sip. I'm going to warm it up. Ugh. Oh, it feels good. Feels good to have gotten that extra sleep. I will tell you. I think so often. I think I might be addicted to work right now. I think I might be addicted to work. Be it waiting tables or video production. And maybe that's okay at this chapter of my life. Because as I realized 2 weeks ago, I needed to bump up my revenue. And there's no easier way to bump up your revenue than work more. And what's kind of interesting, weird, cool about being a waiter is, you know, that it's not a set schedule, and if shifts come available, you can take them. Last week, I worked 7 days straight. I think I've worked the last 5, and I'm not scheduled to work today. But if one became available, you know, I'd probably take it because it's Tuesday night. I need to generate revenue. Chip's doing great. Got a clean bill of health. Good for you. Sally Vala's dad was married to a realtor in Coldwell Banker in Naperville. Well, that's cool. That is cool. That is cool. Let's have a little more coffee. Excuse me. Sorry, Lisa. My mouth was burning when I was saying your name. Lisa Smith asked if I'm reading anything right now. No, the last book I read was The Appeal. It was a John Grisham novel. And I first read a John Grisham novel probably back in the 90s called The Firm, which became a movie with Tom Cruise. And honestly, I thought the movie was no good, but the book was incredible. The book was incredible. And I'll tell you what, for anyone that hasn't read the book, The Firm, you should read it. It was scary. It was so good. But the movie didn't capture the feel at all. But anyway, loved the book, couldn't put it down, and read a couple of his others quickly thereafter, and kind of almost forgot about him as an author for 15 years. And while I was out in Yellowstone, I was a little bored out there, to be honest with you. Yes, it's pretty, but you can only go, wow, that mountain's pretty so many times. So I was a little bored, and I was living in a dorm for employees. They had a little social area where people would gather and drink and play games. And I wasn't into drinking and wasn't playing games, but they also had some books. And I looked at them and I said, hey, a John Grisham novel. Let's grab this. I haven't read this one. And it was The Appeal. And I read that and finished it. When I was done with that, I probably took a day off and I went back to the little library in my dorm and grabbed another Grisham novel. And honestly, I read about a chapter and I go, I just don't want to do this again. He's put out so many books. And I mean, I don't ever want to say anything negative about anybody, but he's put out so many books and he kind of just, I don't know, creates a story. I mean, maybe that's what you do when you're a writer. I don't know. I just didn't feel like reading another legal thriller, if you will. Oh, Lisa Smith said, maybe I can find a new book at the library today. I could. The library is filled with books. Will I follow the debate tonight? RJ, I forgot the debate was even going tonight. Will I watch it? I mean, I don't know how much value it is watching anything political. I wonder, we got 33 people watching right now. I bet 33 people know who they're already going to vote for. Oh, yeah. I wonder, do you all know who you're going to vote for? I bet you already do. I think I do. I mean, I know I do. I'm a begrudging voter in this direction. The party I'm going to vote for could have done a whole lot better, I think, with their candidate. And honestly, I think needs to change some of the rigidity on a couple platforms, on a couple issues. Because I almost feel politics in America has become a one issue all about one issue. And I don't know. And I see both sides to that issue. Yeah. But there's other issues that matter to me that a whole heck of a lot that I think the party and again, I think I'm more center of the road than I even know, because I mean I agree with both sides on a lot of different issues, but I think there's a core value to me on that has me generally vote for one party over the other, but even that, it's only a slight majority. But I think because of one issue, all the other issues almost don't even matter. And that feels weird. Highland 517 said, yes, economy and immigration. First of all, that's two issues. And neither of them are the issue I was referring to. So I see all these debates and all this discussion and all these talking heads on various news channels. Trying to make other issues as relevant. But I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to one issue. And, yeah. I think that's unfortunate. And I think I understand, I see both sides to the issue. And, yeah. It's a tough, very personal issue. Yeah. Highland 517 says her property taxes are up, her property insurance went up, and she's being taxed. Yeah. Callie says it's women's rights. Callie doesn't understand that there's two sides to that issue as well. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. I think you guys are narrowing in on the issue. But anyway, I might keep an eye on it just for titillation, if you will, just to see how it goes, to see how both candidates handle themselves. I'm not super impressed with either candidate at all. At all. Okay, I'm not even impressed at all with either candidate at all. At all. Uh, yeah. Either candidate at all. Mm. Yeah, I think that we're having a strange stream of presidential candidates coming out over the last, I don't know, 8 years or so. And it's kind of shows why our country's divided, and maybe it's because our country's so divided that we're getting these uh, candidates. Huh. But I'd like to see, if I could create a perfect candidate. He, she might be. I can't create a perfect candidate. Sometimes I wish I could wave a wand and control the world or control people or think I have more say than I do. As Highland 517 says, it's in God's hands. And I kind of believe that. It's bigger than I can handle or want to handle or have control of. Even the smallest things I can't necessarily control. Yeah. And I think when you realize that, I think life becomes a whole heck of a lot easier. And your life becomes more purposeful. And you do your best and you do the right thing and you have faith that the rest of it's going to work out okay. Mm. Callie's agreeing with me. Callie, you haven't agreed with me in months. She gets fired up about politics. She gets fired up. And I get it. And for me, and again, I'm kind of middle of the road. I see why both sides get so fired up. I understand. But most of you, and I hate to put you all in a group because maybe you're not all in the same group, but most can't or don't or won't see both sides and go, well, yeah. That's tough. And that's tough. Maybe we could come together and figure something out. But it's, I think, easier to not come together. It was interesting. I saw a video on, TikTok a few days ago, and how there was a guy, and he had a British accent, so I think he must have been highly intelligent, or he seemed to be. And he said something about how, especially in the Western civilization, we believe that we have a right to live a peaceful existence and get along and be at peace. And how in reality, and history will show, that harmony and peace isn't the norm, it's the exception. And therefore my expectation that both sides of the political aisle see the other side and understand the other's perspective and work together to find a reasonable solution, while idyllic, might not be realistic. Because again, I think if we look back on history, we'll find that peace was by far not the norm. We even like to pretend. I'm sorry. I'm not always politically correct, but I'll do my best. I think we like to pretend that, I don't know, other cultures were peaceful. And that, I don't know, like here in America, that European invaders came and broke the peace that was going on here in North America and were mean. And while, yes, the European invaders may have been a little mean to the people that were native to this land, to pretend that the Native Americans were a peaceful people living in harmony with other Native Americans is a silly thought and just not true. Because again, I don't believe that peace is the norm, and I think that we have always fought and warred for land and power and gold and what we thought was right, and haven't always gotten along as have done cruel things to other people that didn't look like us or think like us or act like us or whatever, for whatever reason. Good morning, Robert Patrick. Kelly's agreeing with me again. Don't know what to say about that. She's going to become my bestie. She's going to become my bestie. I get a little more coffee. I'm not done talking yet. I've only been talking for half an hour. Let me get a little more coffee. Hold on. I'll tell you, I moved out of, finally got the rest of my stuff out of our last home yesterday, and I did a post about it, and it was kind of bittersweet. And it was a big home with a big yard that required a lot of maintenance and had a bunch of bedrooms and multiple floors and a basement and a lot of area to clean. And I mean, there were a lot of niceties about it. It was a beautiful neighborhood in Naperville with a swimming pool down the block and people walking their dogs and sidewalks and all these other things. But I'll tell you what, I just went to my kitchen and back to get some more coffee. Only took a few seconds. And only took a few seconds. And if I wanted, I could scrub the whole floor on this place and I mean scrub it. Hands and knees. I mean, 15 minutes maybe. There is value in smallness, in less. RJ wants to know, and I love that the question would be asked to me, like I'm all-knowing and all-powerful. What's best for the economy, red or blue? First of all, I think changing our view, because even when you ask that question, RJ, it's divisive. I would say what's best for the economy would be a fun shade of purple. And again, I'm coming at peace and harmony and hugs and kisses. But Sherry or Cherry said right now, is saying red is needed right now. And generally, economically, I would say I certainly lean right of center. There's no doubt about it. And economically, I certainly like smaller government. But I, do believe in it. Although the public education system is so far from perfect, I think it's the best system we have right now, and could certainly use some tweaks. I believe compassion's good and understanding is good, and I personally have gone through some really, really hard times, and myself, and I think, as I've been told before, bad things occasionally happen to good people, and not sure what's the best way to resolve that. But I don't want people starving on the streets or going through garbage cans looking for food. The thought of that makes me sad. So if the government can, and I don't know that it can or can't, but can help with that, it'd be nice. Oh. Well, you guys are... I could have this show go so easily. You throw the political bomb in the conversation, and you guys squabble. I'll let you squabble. Again, I can't control everything. And I realize peace is not the norm. But I'll just drink my coffee. I thought about it some last night. I work in a restaurant, and like every other restaurant, we sell alcohol. And it got me thinking after I left my restaurant, I was walking home and I saw some people kind of staggering through the streets a little bit. Overserved. But I think the expression overserved is not fair. Because it's kind of putting the blame on the bar or whatever. Or in my case, the server, to regulate how much of a drug, which alcohol is, somebody consumes. I don't know how in a crowded bar you're supposed to do that, or, I think society and all these beer companies, they come out with these commercials, drink responsibly. And I'll tell you what, that's a crock. They might say drink responsibly on their commercials, but I promise you, in board meetings for beer companies throughout the world, in the board meetings, they're not talking about people drinking responsibly. They're thinking, how can we get these people to drink more? And again, I don't want the government saying what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And I'm not one that believes in prohibition. But I've personally seen the damaging effects alcohol can do to somebody. And again, I don't want the government coming in and stopping the sale of it necessarily. I don't. I mean, it seems weird. But boy, it's damaging. It is damaging. Callie's comparing it to the casinos. I hate to agree with Callie yet again, but we're becoming besties. Yeah, the casinos. On my ride back from Yellowstone, I stopped at a gas station and got a cup of coffee and something to eat. and was sitting there and saw there's a lot of casinos out west. I think a lot of those states have very low barriers to gambling. And again, I'm not necessarily into barriers, government placed barriers. But I think there's a lot of casinos, a lot of slot machines, and a lot of poverty. And my view, there was a broken down car between me and where I was sitting at the gas station and a casino. And the casino was big. And honestly, I think it might have been on a Native American reservation. And it made me think, boy, these casinos do a lot of damage. And I know that from personal experience. Yeah. Huh. Kind of think alcohol's, they always talked about various things being gateway drugs. I think if you took alcohol out of a lot of people's lives, the desire, the sins, and not that you can control sins, and we all sin, but the desire for other vices is a lot less. Atwood said, casinos, alcohol, and gambling apps should be banned from doing commercials like cigarettes are. Seems like maybe a good place to start. And you get all these, I see LeBron James doing I think DraftKings, I don't even know what it is, but they hire these celebrities to glorify gambling. And I would ask LeBron James, how much money do you need, LeBron? And honestly, I don't even know for sure what DraftKings is, but I'll bet you DraftKings is a gambling app on your phone. And I wonder how much money LeBron James needs to promote a gambling app. Because I promise you, the only people out there that this gambling app is good for are the people that own the gambling app. All of LeBron James's millions and millions of fans, that look up to him and trust him and what have you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes me sick if I think about it. He's got to know. He's got to know. Shannon says she works too hard for her money to blow it on gambling. Well, Shannon, you're smart and have more control than many. And I'll tell you what, LeBron James is adored by millions. And yeah, he's glorifying gambling. And I'll tell you what, as a guy that has spent a lot of time in a casino, most of the hours I spent in a casino weren't that glorious. And if you're staring at your phone and betting on games and wondering how if your team's going to cover a spread or the over-under is going to come in. Oftentimes you'll be doing that with a drink in your hand. And that's just a cesspool of bad activity. So LeBron, if you're out there watching Coffee with Ken, I'd ask you to stop promoting gambling apps. You don't need the money, and it's not helping. What's worse, knowing the workers at casinos or liquor stores? I certainly have known workers at both. I used to be friends with all the people at Walgreens where I would go and get my Heineken. And I used to have favorite dealers at the casinos. So what's worse? Well, I would say what's worse is at the casinos because that requires more effort. Because the casinos are kept in the dark parts of town, 20 miles away, on the river sometimes. But the liquor stores, are at your friendly neighborhood Walgreens, you know, and at every bar and restaurant you frequent. Maybe if we stopped calling alcohol alcohol and called it a drug, we'd change our perspective. What's my favorite thing to do on my day off? In a perfect world, and I'm not going to be able to today, it'd be go see my kids for a little bit and take them to a playground and play with them and tickle Augie and tickle Eve and kiss them both on their soft cheeks. But I can't do that today. So my favorite thing to do today, well, honestly, would be to pick up a shift tonight and not have a day off. Because I need the money, and I know making money moves me forward in life in a positive direction. And I know if I'm working for 5 or 7 or 10 hours, I'll be moving forward and doing good things and doing things my kids need and I need to get a better, more secure life. Other than that, I'd like to work out. I'd like to go to a coffee shop. I'd like to edit videos because I believe waiting tables is not the long-term solution for the man you are looking at in front of you. Every day, this page is growing. And it's growing not only here on TikTok, but on every social media platform. And the revenue that it generates, it's not much. It's not much. But it's growing. And feels good. Feels good to be going in the right direction. And I will tell you what, the revenue, I had an all-time high revenue yesterday on a different social media app. And although it was a outlier, it was double what I'd ever made before on that social media app. It still felt good. I'm going, that seems interesting. That felt good. Do more of that. Oh, Callie, thank you so much for sending some roses. Callie, we truly are besties. For a while, you almost weren't going to be invited back. Her political opinions, and I'm assuming it's really a her. It's a picture of a beautiful blonde woman named Callie. Get friend requests like that on various social media platforms all the time. And I'm going, wow. Gorgeous, strangely young person, young woman, wants to be my friend. I'll go to their profile, I go, I don't think that person's real. Let's block them. It's kind of funny. But anyway, it's Tuesday morning. Had fun with you this morning. Hat and mustache. Cutest things. And again, I'm not sure. TikTok allows viewers to send like little gifts and hats and mustaches. And I had Augie on my lap, I don't know, maybe a year ago at this time. And somebody sent me a hat and mustache. And I had one, and my little Augie, my little nugget of love, had one as well. And he was like 2.5, and he's a beautiful little boy, and he's got Down syndrome, which makes him even more beautiful, I guess. I mean, I'm sure all my kids are beautiful, but something about Augie, I'll tell you. And something about seeing us both with cowboy hats and mustaches on was obviously giving me a smile right now. I got that picture somewhere. I should look it up. Makes me smile. Yeah. Oh. Gonna have to go to the grocery store today. I believe in doing things better and being healthier, and part of that's diet. Your body is, in fact, a temple. But last night when I got home from work, I had, I think, 3 hot dogs and 2 frozen burritos. That can't be that healthy. It was tasty, though. It was tasty. But it can't be that healthy. And my fruit selection is running low here. And I'm going to have to find a place with a more filled kitchen where I can cook meat and eat various healthier things and eat, I think, and this is going to sound weird because I've never felt this way before. I've always been one that thought calories were calories. But only over the last few years, I think if we eat, I think all the modernization in food and the ease with which we can microwave up pizza pockets or hot dogs or anything packaged is probably less and less good for us. And the more meats and vegetables and fruits we eat, the healthier our body is and the better we feel. And I know living here, I eat a lot of fruit, but I don't really cook here because I don't really have a kitchen. And not that I'm a big cook. I'll tell you, even when I had a kitchen, the thing I cooked most was frozen pizzas. But about a year back, last I was living in a home with a kitchen. I was cooking, got in the habit of cooking up big, pound or 2 pounds of ground beef and having that for a meal, one of my meals. And I enjoyed that, and it was reasonably cost effective, and it was reasonably I'd consider healthy because just less stuff being packaged in a factory. Yeah. Good morning, Torin. Oh, but again, it's Tuesday morning. My tummy's rumbling. I still have some apples and oranges in the fridge that I'm going to break out and get another cup of coffee and chug some water and munch on an apple and munch on an orange or two and continue on with my day. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. The sun is shining out there. The trees are already changing colors a little bit. I can't believe it. But some areas where I'm at here, western suburbs of Chicago, the leaves are changing colors. And fall is almost upon us. Fall is a beautiful time of the year. And again, looking forward to the leaves changing and me continuing down my path and getting where I need to be and getting the car I need to have and continuing to build my life one step at a time. So one more sip of coffee. I want to thank you guys so much for joining today. I so appreciate you hopping on, following my story, whatever social media platform you're watching it on, following along, subscribing to my page, liking my videos, sending me hats and mustaches, especially when I got Augie on my lap because that's really cute. But I want to thank you so much for joining today. Hello, Cindy Strickland. How are you? I always feel bad when somebody I know hops on and gives me a good morning with an exclamation mark right as I'm signing off. I fell asleep, and I've talked about this guy before. There's a guy that does Reiki. And last night when I went to bed, he was live. And he looks like Jesus. He's got long hair, and he's got a big beard, and he wears kind of hippie-ish looking clothes, if you will. And he's moving a rock around, and there's this melodic music, and he's talking kind of quietly. And he has like 1,300 people following him on his lives. I bet he generates a whole lot of money on TikTok for moving a rock around. Again, I was watching it. I don't even believe in Reiki. But I was watching it just because it was relaxing and it helped me drift off to Sleep. But he must do real well with 1,300 followers, and all of them were sending roses and diamonds and cowboy hats and mustaches. Wow. Yeah. Hope he's happy with what he's doing. Sure he is. I mean, I'm not sure he is. Hope he is. But anyway, I so appreciate you guys for hopping on. I'm not jealous of him and his 1,300. I wouldn't share the 28 people that are watching right now for his 1,300. I wouldn't share my show. If I wanted to, I could probably get a crystal and move it around and put some melodic music. Maybe grow a beard. Wear some different clothes. But that's not my path. That's not my path, and we all have our own path, and we should all do us. And he's doing him, and I'm not trying to tease him, but he just had a way bigger audience, so I'm only teasing with envy. But I appreciate you guys, and I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful night's sleep, and I hope your week started off well yesterday. And I appreciate Callie for sending me a couple finger hearts and following my page. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you are all feeling good. I hope you are all loving yourself. I hope you are all forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.